Hello, I'm Malcolm Haslett.
And I'm Janice Baker.
And I'm pleased.
Yes, thank you. We used to hear a lot about fundraising, but with rising household costs, how do charities exist?
With some fantastic people. Do you want to know more? Welcome to our time. How lovely to see you, Janice.
Why, thank you.
With my eyes these days, it's nice to be able to see anybody without glasses. Isn't it terrible how, as we age...
things change.
Well, sometimes it's an advantage. I was shaving thinking, oh, I'm not wrinkled anymore. That cream must be working. And then I put my glasses on.
Oh.
What a surprise. I had hair growing out of things.
Oh, stop.
Well, you do.
Don't want to know.
Just like Rose Senesi. Hello, Rose.
Hello. Okay.
It's just you haven't got hair growing out of unusual places. It's shrunk.
No, that's right. I did shave like you do most days, except I just shaved my head once a couple of weeks ago.
And why did you do that, Rose?
I did it to remember a dear friend of mine, and her name was Deb, and she lost her battle with blood cancer in late February this year. So working for the Leukemia Foundation at the moment and very passionate about the cause and have been for a very long time. I thought, what better way to pay tribute to Deb, raise some money, raise some awareness and get out there and just give it the chop. So I did.
And how long was it before you had it cut?
To be honest with you, Janice, it was only probably about shoulder length, so it wasn't a massive change, but I have had short hair in the past and I've also had very long hair. So it's still a dramatic change and I'm very proud of it.
It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
It's very hard to know how to describe you though, Rose, because there's so many tangents to you in your life. So just talking about the fundraising, you've worked for a lot of fundraising organisations, haven't you?
Mostly the Leukemia Foundation, and through that it's been event management, which is a lot like performing or putting on a show.
Putting on a show.
Getting people there, getting people interested, all the logistics that goes behind putting together an event / show, and then of course rolling out the event itself. So that's been my greatest passion, the work for the Leukemia Foundation.
Yeah, so I guess, as Janice said in the introduction, what did you say?
The cost of the rising costs of the households, yes. Yeah,
so people don't have the money they used to have to sort of donate. Like churches must be struggling too, because taking up collections and things, it's not what it used to be. People don't have that available cash. So how do you fundraise these days?
It's important to give people something to believe in and a tangible outcome as well. So it's not enough just to say, give us your money and we're going to do good things. What are we doing with this money? And we've done some terrific things at the Leukemia Foundation, and most reputable, fantastic and good charities will do that. They will show and they will give back to the community that they're supporting.
So how do you do that though? Is it an event or is it physical stuff?
Getting people involved is very important to charities. So,
and that must be quite hard too, to actually get people involved in the first place.
That's right. So we turn to the community and we ask for people that are already been affected by in our case, blood cancers, to be our first ambassadors, I suppose, to talk about what it is that we do. And then we also move forward from there and we look to the greater community and offer them an event and offer them an experience, something amazing that they would walk away from thinking, wow, that was pretty cool and I've done something to help.
And to encourage them to come back to do it again.
Come back and do it again. I've often said to the team at the foundation that run the events, and I'm one of them, I often say if we do the right thing by the event, we should be putting on a fantastic experience where people will walk away and they'll do the advertising for us. They'll talk about it so much. The best advertising for the event is the event itself. So we run events like the World's Greatest Shave. That's one of our signature events, which is hence the hair. We do a terrific event called Light the Night, which is held in a public place, usually on a night in October around Australia on the same night, and we glow beautiful lanterns in the dark and we walk around the city to show courage and hope for our patients and their families. We run a fabulous event called the Ugly Bartender of the Year, which is an event that is run specifically through hotels and pubs. Ugly standing for understanding, generous, likeable you. And that raises over $1 million a year.
Fantastic. Sounds like I had director.
And also the Aussie Muscle Car Run, which is the event that I run for the Leukemia Foundation with a fabulous team.
And that's October as well.
That happens in October every year, which is
year.
all about cars. And we take a very passionate group of people out on the road for 7 days. They get to do some terrific motorsport, but it's all Aussie muscle cars from yesteryear, from the 60s and 70s, getting together, battling it out on the motorsport.
So where can people find out about that particular one? Because I know we've got some viewers that would love that.
Yeah, AussieMuscleCarRun.com. It's as easy as that. We've got 60 cars registered this year already. We're going to Talonben Motorsport Park, which is the talk of the town amongst the motorsport fraternity.
Yes, it is.
And then we take off through the Riverland, up into Mildura, across to Wilpena Pound, back down to the Barossa Valley, hill climb, Malala, Talonben. It's going to be spectacular. So we're hoping to raise $500,000 this year from that event alone.
Wow.
So, Rose, I guess a lot of people don't understand that there needs to be some sort of committee that's a paid committee or employees to pull all of this together.
Absolutely.
Because without that, obviously, it doesn't happen.
Yep.
And so you're funding the charity, but you're also funding someone to keep driving it, like yourself.
And growing it.
Growing it. And that's so important, isn't it, to have both sides of the coin?
Absolutely. We're experts in our field. And let me be very, very clear on this. We couldn't do it without our volunteers. We have over 100 volunteers at the Leukemia Foundation who are just tireless, and they're amazing and usually have a personal connection to blood cancer. So we're very fortunate and couldn't do it without them. On top of that is our very lean and mean fundraising and events team that here in South Australia, there's only four people that basically look after all of those events that I've just mentioned, and I'm one of them. So when you think about the capacity of what has to happen, it's pretty awesome. But because we are very focused, we're very passionate, and yes, we get paid, but we're also specialists in our field.
Yes, we can't tell that you're passionate at all. But look,
we get the results.
Looking at you, there's another side to your life, and we've got some pictures of the other side of your life.
It's my hobby.
Yeah, well, your hobby. I don't know if it's a hobby. Have a look at this, because this is Rose with her group called the Three Chilies. Now, it's a big wide shop. Where is that? And that'll put things into perspective.
That's at the Arts Theatre in Adelaide with our fantastic backing band called Twisted J. It was a few years ago, just after we got back from Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
And you did the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh. And
we did.
You went very well, I believe.
We had a ball over there. We spent 2.5 weeks over in Edinburgh in 2009.
You don't seem to be in that shot.
No, that's me front and centre.
But that's a different you, Rose.
It is a different me.
We'll talk about that in a tick.
Okay.
Let's have a look at the other shot. There, the three of you are.
Yeah, that was one of our first ever shots when we first got together as a trio.
Remember.
So you know lovely Oriana on the far right.
I do. She grew up in our school. I know.
Very talented.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Amazing singer, amazing performer, one of my bestest friends. And Kelly, now on the right, the blonde, beautiful Kelly O'Brien. Kelly and I and Oriana met doing a musical back in 2004.
And Kelly often tours with the Elvis impersonator who we've had on the show.
Yeah, she's fab.
Mark Anthony.
And we have a ball.
It's fantastic, and you are fantastic. Your voices are just wonderful together.
Thank you.
Excuse me, just why the Three Chilies?
Aha.
Hot stuff.
Great question, Janice.
Thank you.
Hot stuff, yes, of course. No, it's actually in the Italian culture, especially in the southern Italian culture.
You're not Italian.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, mate? Do you pay cash? So mum and dad come from southern Italy in the Naples region, something I'm very proud of. I was born in Australia, so I'm an Italo-Australian. But mum and dad came to Australia in the 60s, and a sign of strength and courage is the chili in southern Italy. So it is something I took on board.
And the need for toilets, in my case.
Oh, charming.
Too much
Okay,
information,
yeah,
sorry.
It's way too much information. But yes, thank you very much for that.
Right.
So the chili is something that's always been around in my family, in my family culture. And so when I decided to put the three of us together, after I sort of worked out that we had some pretty cool talent, the three of us are all very different, but blend together very well.
Because Kelly's got a full operatic voice.
Soprano, beautifully trained,
Fantastic.
classic, amazing voice. Oriana's your pocket rocket, dances, sings, choreography, amazing. I'm sort of the one in the middle that usually holds it all together with banter and funny stuff.
but also, because we're talking about the other, you've lost 50 kilos.
Yes, I have.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Apart from not having the hair that you had in those pictures, you do
Well, that
look
was a
very
quick
different.
way of losing a couple of kilos.
That was a couple of kilos just like that.
Thank God.
Should have done that to begin with. No.
I know it's really hard to say how did you do that, but why did you do that?
I had a sore knee. My knee was aching and I went to the doc and I said, right, doc, just, do the injection or give me the cream or do what it is that you need to do. and he said, Rose, you're 40 and you need to start looking after yourself. And at that stage, as you can see from the photos, it's not something that's ever held me back.
No, because you worked flat out.
I felt fine. Yeah, I
sing
felt
great.
Fine, performed. Thank you, Malcolm. Out the front, performing, carrying on. And that's why I have a real problem with those reality shows that talk about larger people that have, no love and no confidence. And I'm thinking, how can this be? How can every overweight person in the world not be loved or not be confident? It's not true.
No, there is pressure though.
Definitely.
There's definitely pressure to lose weight. I mean, I feel that about myself. There's pressure to lose weight.
Yep.
But, it's hard. It's hard to stop eating your favourite food, bread.
Yeah, bread. And that's
But you
basically
don't. But
what
also, you don't realise that when you do carry weight, how it is affecting the rest of your body. That you do get backaches, you do get sore knees, you do get sore hips. So.
You do. And I have a mum who's very arthritic and in a lot of pain, and I'd look at her and I think, I just don't want to do that. So I just started. I made a very big decision and took some drastic steps, but I did it, and I'm still on that road. So it's every day's a new story.
Challenge.
Yeah. But it's like living two lives, isn't it? It's already you've got multiple lives because you're a performer and you work as well, and the passion with the fundraising is very similar to your performing passion.
It's funny you should say that, because I remember leaving. We went to Italy as a family in 2009 for my dad's 80th birthday. The whole family went overseas to celebrate Dad's 80th. And we had a fantastic time. And then I remember the morning that we all drove to the Rome airport to drop me off. And they left me at Rome Airport by myself. My husband had come back to Australia and the rest of the family, so on and so forth. And I remember getting on the plane and sitting down on the plane by myself in Rome, about to take off. And I was heading to Scotland. And I was thinking, I have just been a wife, a sister-in-law, a daughter, a cousin, an auntie to all these people. And now I'm a performer about to hit the stage at the largest fringe festival in the world, where Oriana and Kelly were waiting for me at Edinburgh. And when we saw each other there, because they'd flown from Australia directly to Scotland, it was this overwhelming sense of, this is another part of my life that I'm so blessed to be able to tap into every now and again.
Yeah,
it's great.
I get it.
I'm very proud.
Rose, thanks for coming in. Look, we must have you back again and talk more about other things that you're involved with.
Sure.
But for now, we have to take a break, but stay around till the end. We can have another chat.
Thank you.
We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to our time. Now, look, we thought we were going to get rid of Rose, but we didn't. She's still here.
Yes, she is.
I'm still here.
No, look, Rose, there's so much going on in your life, but tell us, how did it all start for you? Like, when you were at school, what were you thinking that you might be doing this time of your life?
I wanted to be a performer. I really
Always.
did. I wanted to be a singer and an actress. So much so that I actually applied and got into NIDA in 1988.
Wow.
Which was my year 12. And Mum and Dad were dead against it, so I wasn't allowed to go.
No.
So I went to, I worked instead.
But was that an Italian thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Because show business isn't a real business.
Well, it doesn't make you money, does it? And it doesn't provide, and it's certainly not
a secure job.
A secure job, and probably something that was a little bit shady and not really. No, not a good profession.
Don't talk about Janice like that.
Not a good profession.
Goodness me.
For their daughter, who they've sacrificed so much for, to get into.
Do you know, that's an interesting point, because we've had, over the years of doing this program, quite a lot of people who have come to the country who are the children of, and they all say exactly the same. They feel an obligation to their parents. Do you think that's been a good thing in your life?
It's been a great thing for me.
The feeling of obligation?
Absolutely, because it's about our culture, and it's about the respect that I have for my parents and my grandparents, who were the courageous people that came out here to begin with.
But are you talking about the Italian culture or Australian culture? Because surely...
It's a blend now, Malcolm.
Exactly.
We're not Italian and we're not Australians. It's actually one of the shows that I've written called Immigrati that talks just about that. What are we? If Italy was playing Australia in the World Cup soccer, I'm barracking for Australia every day of the week, hands down. But if Italy's playing anyone else in the world, I'm so barracking for Italy. It's this bizarre mix of knowing where you've come from, the blood running through our veins, and the best of these two amazing cultures, which we've had this sort of like a spin-off now of this subculture that's happened here in Australia, where we get to pick and choose what we like. So when Italy does something really cool, we're Italians. When Australia does something really cool, we're Aussies.
But you were born here.
I was born here. I was born at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital at Woodville. You can't get any more Aussie than that.
And we couldn't send you back?
We couldn't send me back.
Never
My
mind.
brother was born in Italy. My brother Michael was born in Italy. And Mum and Dad made the transition in the late 60s. And my grandparents were already here, Mum's family. So it was a coming together of families again.
Yes.
It was fab, yeah.
And the fact that you've got two languages, was that passed on to everyone in the family?
Pretty much those of us that were born to the two eldest of Mum's brother. So Mum's eldest brother, my uncle, and Mum. So those kids, the five of us, we speak fluent Italian. And it's a dialect from southern Italy, the Neapolitan dialect.
Right, yeah,
But
there are so many different languages through Italy. Thousands.
Thousands, Janice. Thousands of dialects. And even a couple of 100 kilometres away from where we live, even the southernmost point of Italy, which is Sicily and Calabria, if you have a chat with those people in their dialect, I wouldn't know how to converse with them.
What are they talking about? Yes.
Very different and very thick.
Well, going back to the original days of the Johnny Young Talent School, which we used to run here in Adelaide, well, we still do, but not under John's name anymore, but we had a lot of Greek and Italian kids come in, and because there were big mirrors, they would all dress up, and it was an amazing thing that the parents loved to see their kids performing, but they didn't want it to do it professionally.
No.
Which is an interesting sort of thing. They loved the fact their kids were doing it, but they didn't want them to move on forward.
To progress.
How did you break through that, though? Because you obviously did, because you're a performer as well.
I did, but I waited till I was 32 to do it. I didn't sing a note or do anything with my music and my voice and my acting at all from when I left school in 1988 to when I met Oriana and Kelly in 2004.
And how did you meet them?
Oh, God, that must have been very hard.
It was.
Yes, extremely.
I have my husband to thank, I'll be honest with you. We were married quite young, and Laurie, my husband...
And he made you sing?
I'd walk around the house just, singing and carrying on. And he said to me once we had this conversation, he said, why aren't you doing anything with this? And then my best friend David and I were sitting in a car in Sydney one night during the 2000 Olympics, and we sang the John Farnham and Olivia Newton-John Dare to Dream theme. I don't know if you remember, it's fabulous.
Is that the David I know?
Olympic David Perotta, his name is, my best friend. Anyway, so we are singing our lungs out, and he looked at me and he said, why aren't you doing this? Why are you doing something with this? And I said, I don't know. Why aren't I doing something with this? So between my husband and the best friend, the two of them egged me on, I suppose.
Because you can hear all the harmonies too, can't you?
I love the harmonies. So in my band, No Two Ways, which is aside from the Chili's, aside from the Immigrati show, is a band.
You fit everything in.
Which we've just finished.
Why did she lose so much weight?
That's how I did it. There you go. Rehearsals.
Rehearse.
The band is No Two Ways, and we do a Bee Gees cover show, a tribute show for the Bee Gees, and we've just had 350.
Which brother are you?
I'm actually no brother. I had to make that clear at our show this year. So I'm the girl in the group.
There is a sister.
There was a sister. She never sang, but the bit where I come into this is I sing the songs that they wrote for all the women. So Celine Dion, Barbara Streisand, Dionne Warwick, Dolly Parton.
Be some beautiful songs in
yes.
there.
Again, a lot of people forget that they wrote that.
Yes.
They wrote some amazing music for many varied artists, and that's where I sort of fit in. I get to sing all those wonderful big ballads.
Rose, the interesting thing about that, though, is most of their songs were sort of a lot of nonsensical lyrics that went together. But when they wrote for somebody else, they wrote genuine story songs, didn't they?
They did. Beautiful
it's
lyrics.
Quite interesting, the difference.
And magical, very well orchestrated songs. So this year for Fringe, we performed our Night Fever show to 350 people at the Arca. We had a ball. It was just a joy, a real joy. Yeah. And then from there, I just started working with Oriana and Kelly after I auditioned for a musical with them. And I sort of worked out that we had this, like I said earlier, this three very different...
But gelled.
Yeah,
well.
we did. And I love the girls
I reckon
very
that's
much.
about the time I met you first of all. But
Definitely.
Just going back to the fundraising side of your life, the people who obviously have children, if it's leukemia, and become part of, in a way, the organisation because of the things that you can help them with, if it's not their luck that their child is lost, Do they stay with you? Do people like that tend to continue in the memory of their child?
Some of them do, and some of them don't.
Must be
and
very difficult.
there's no obligation and there
No.
is no expectation. That's not why we exist. We exist to help families going through it now, and we exist to raise money for research, world-class research. And here in South Australia, we're very fortunate to have the South Australian Health and Medical Research Institute, the SAMRI.
Yeah.
So we are blessed to have this fantastic facility. But for us, it's about connecting families to the services that we can provide, and they're all free of charge.
Give us an example of those services.
Yeah, so for starters, we have this beautiful village that we built about 5 years ago out at Lights View. It's a 15-apartment, purposely built village, the Bridgestone Australia Village. Bridgestone Australia are fantastic supporters of the Leukaemia Foundation, and they help us build. It's a $10 million facility. There are 15 units. And each unit houses a family that has to come from the country, from rural and regional South Australia and the Northern Territory, sometimes even Mildura and Broken Hill we have families from.
Right,
So we
yes.
look after sort of centre corridor of Australia for families that have to relocate to Adelaide for their treatment. So whether it's the child that's needing treatment or an adult that's needing treatment, they can come and stay with us for
With
as
the
long as they
family.
need, with their whole family. And it's not that
Amazing.
they're sharing any facilities. They've got their own bedrooms, their own kitchens, their own laundries, their own everything, their own backyard, and we provide everything free of charge for as long as they need it. The only thing they have to pay for is their own food, and apart from that, everything else is taken
Which they
care
would
of.
anyway, I guess.
Yeah, wow.
That's amazing.
It's done- yeah.
To know that this service exists. I didn't know that. I
Yes.
didn't know that that was available.
It's something we're very proud of, and as the fundraising team, we worked tirelessly on putting that project together. We did have a government grant from the Regional Development Fund of Australia to help regional, because this is about regional families, rural families that don't get access to these services and certainly don't get access to the treatment that they need while they're undergoing blood cancer treatment.
Right.
And because of the nature of our diseases, the blood cancers, so we're talking about leukemia, lymphoma and myeloma, so they're all blood-related disorders. We are talking about, it's not like a tumour that can come out and you can go home after a few weeks. This is a very ongoing, and on average, families stay with us for about 4 months.
It's a long time.
But the
It's
body
a long
has to
time.
learn to fix itself, doesn't it,
That's
really?
right, that's right. And it's blood, so it's everywhere.
Yes, wow.
Yes, exactly. So do you go home at night feeling, I did something good today?
Every day, I'm blessed. And I did move away from the Leukaemia Foundation for a few years and still found myself working on some other fundraising events. I think purpose is something that drives me, and it's certainly something that drives our organisation. Very proud to work with the people I work with. We're pretty driven, but we've got focus, and there's a big tick at the end of every day when we walk away and we think, you know what, we're doing something pretty cool here.
So would you still need volunteers? Like if anybody's listening to this now.
Always
I hope
volunteers.
someone is.
Well, yeah, so do I. But if there are people out there that would like to volunteer, listening to you, being so passionate about what you do, how would they be able to do that?
There's so many ways you can volunteer for us. Mostly it's around our event spaces. So we've had people help us shave heads, colour hair in this past few weeks for the Leukaemia Foundation's World's Greatest Shave, which has been a hoot. Getting involved at the village as well, coming into the office and help us with some basic admin stuff.
Just general,
We've got some terrific ladies that bake for us,
Well,
and then we do bake
sometimes you
sales.
don't know, Rose. Just hold that thought and we'll be back in a tick and we'll have some more information from the lovely Rose Senesi. And we're back with Rose Senesi, our guest, because she won't go away.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you didn't, Rose, because you just said something really interesting, that there are drivers that are needed to volunteer.
Yes, we're always looking for volunteer drivers. We provide the cars and the petrol, beautiful cars donated by Bridgestone and Holden. And then our drivers get a list for the day and they go and pick up our patients in the morning and take them into treatment centres around Adelaide, depending on where they need to go. Might be the Royal Adelaide, might be Woodville, might be the Tennyson Centre.
And this is any age group?
Any age group, anyone that's been affected by blood cancer, that is a patient that needs to go into hospital or into a treatment centre, free of charge, beautiful,
Amazing.
clean, lovely volunteers.
Yeah, what a great job that would be
It
for
is.
somebody that's sort of twiddling their thumbs saying, what can I do to help?
Come and do half
What
a day
great
with
job.
us. It's the greatest gift you can
Yeah.
give.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
Rose, thank you so much. You've opened our eyes to many things,
Thank
including yourself and your amazing talents as a performer.
Thank you.
And just a quick reminder, if you're looking or would be interested in volunteering to help this particular charity, where can we find the information?
www.leukemia.org.au.
Okay.
There you go.
And there's the address right there so that you can't miss it. Well, it's been a pleasure to see you once again. Remember, you can find us in anywhere in the world, actually, because you can find us on Facebook. But until next time.
Yes, please take care of yourself. Till
And
then.
keep yourself nice till then. Bye.